Civil War. This basically, Adams County was long and hard for decades. In fact, it was funny. Last year I had a lady on board being used today. Okay, so now we got cleaning, we've got new cotton, but we still needed one more thing. That's transportation. There were no steamboats on the Mississippi River. What few boats that came down were what we call keel boats, or flat bottom boats. And they couldn't take on very much. So if you wanted to move your cotton to Memphis or towards New Orleans, you had to. I think he's trying to sweep us up. But anyway, you had to go overland. Well, that should like to get off. He decided that Adams County and Natchez needed to be occupied and they needed a fort. So he had a fort built just north of town called Fort McPherson, 10,000 square feet, and no one's to this day has figured out why.
It's now offices for our elected officials, but we kept the bars. So you figure out what that means. That has that big piece of stained glass in it. And people often ask me, how much do houses cost here? And I'll say, you know, how much renovation has been done? Most of these houses were built without bathrooms or kitchen. Was built by some landowners. All the farming takes place in Louisiana. The soil here in Natchez is not suitable for farming. But Louisiana, massive plantations. But here in Natchez, that's where the women and the children, the social life and education happen. But that guy made so much money that in Pleasant Hill, he sold that house and he painted the bricks on it, and it's been recently restored like that. Others, as they fell into disrepair, had become whitewashed over the years. There's a costume gallery upstairs, and this house is certified paranormal if you're into that sort of thing. Look, every one of these houses has a ghost. Just as this little bug destroys the cotton crop around 1910 in our area, our economy gets really depressed. People leave, and that's really where we see a lot of depression here in town. And so when the rest of the country gets to the Great Depression, Natchez has been there. We've already been there, and we've kind of suffered it. And so at that point, the women of Natchez sort of get together and say, a garden club said, let's invite all the garden clubs in the country to come to Natchez and see our beautiful flowers. So y'all, if you want to come back in March, our azaleas and camellias put on a stunning show. It was supposed to start coming, it froze. It killed all the buds. The women said, what are we going to do? Everybody's coming. We have nothing to show them. People here in Natchez work in the hospitality industry. So our visitors are a big part of our economy and our life here. I tell them that all the time. As we go through this next part, you'll see here on the door side the Prentice Club coming up. Another example of this really beautiful architecture that's post-Civil War. Recently sold for only, I think, a little under $100,000. You can't, I know everybody's like, what? With 1,000 caveats about what has to be done with it. When it's bought, it suffered a catastrophic fire, was gutted. So there is not even walls inside of it. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. And so whoever bought it committed to all that long-term restoration. On this street, you'll see on both sides lined with crepe myrtles. They are everywhere downtown. Some of the ladies decided we needed 2,000 of them downtown for the year 2000, and we have them. They show July is when they bud out. So y'all come back in July for that. So we make this turn here 6 months before he died. This property takes up today a city block, which also includes a full-size swimming pool and a restaurant. Old mansions are benefiting from modern homes and having their original furnishings donated back. I mean, even in our biggest modern homes, we don't usually set out dining for 20, you know. Mm-hmm. This brick building here on the door side as we pass by, that is the original stables for Stanton Hall. So the property used to be even more than a city block than it is now.
I like that one.
As we go through this next intersection to our driver's side, this come to this next intersection, you're going to see Memorial Park behind the Basilica, and the centerpiece of that park is the fountain, the antique fountain. You also see some other kind of trailers and things like that. That's part of that art show this evening that was also going on last night as well. Memorial Park has this weekend So it's a great time to get some Christmas shopping done. And the beautiful Christmas tree right in the middle of Main Street that Christy is so for 6 months. It was great. You'll see some art galleries, furniture stores, a bakery, Darby's, home of the classic famous fudge. Lots of different gift shops through here. We're also passing in this next intersection the Ola Hotel. We have passed it a couple of times. It changed hands several times after 2016, and then COVID happened, and we have been told that Dickie Brennan, the New Orleans restaurateur, is coming to open a restaurant there. So we're looking at Natchez Museum of African American History and Culture.
So if you're in Natchez and you get a chance, you should come to this museum. They kind of tell the untold stories and stories from a different perspective. And definitely worth your time to stop here and listen to the folks who work here. They do a pre-recorded thing, like a video, but it is a video. But they also, the volunteer or worker or whoever had things to say as well that were equally interesting.
And this big, it's part of our art installation there. As you look ahead, the Grand Hotel also had to get special permission to build that 4th floor to accommodate that convention center, because modern buildings can only come this afternoon. So all sorts of things. I see, leather, woodworking, jewelry, all sorts of artists, painting and things like that. Now the gazebo here is stop number 8. Usually we don't have to stop right in the middle of the street, but as you can tell, we're just happy we got on this street.
Is that a regular bandstand sort of thing?
It is. We have music there often. Usually on Fridays they have something called Live at 5. And if you wanted to get out here, guys, you can just walk right. It happened. And they built this wall out of shotcrete to prevent landslides. Prior to that, we had landslides. Some of them were deadly. And so as you look where the boat is parked and all out here, you've toured Natchez proper, and this under the hill was Natchez improper. That's where I'm taking you guys back to. Because at that time...
Oh, they got my very favorite cake for dessert, German chocolate. Ooh, look at all the berries.
Looks like coleslaw.
That's coleslaw. Look at all the blackberries on there. Broccoli salad. That looks good.
Yummy.
Glazed ham. Black beans and rice. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's
then
the basic.
shrimp roasted corn salsa verde.
Gotta have some of that too.
What kind of classic chicken noodle and vegetable black bean? Looks like no one's even taken any of that yet. It's like a brand new pot. Hi.
Vegetable black bean chili. Chili, they
Chili, yummy. As good as all that looked, I'm gonna order a cheeseburger. Okay, so you have to have the broccoli salad, and it does look good.
You go deep.
Alright, so we're still good.
Did you see her serving in here? Is she behind me?
She was back there,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, okay.